Hey folks, hope life is finding you well. I'm Nick Borrego with Converge Audio. Thank you for tuning into our channel and thank you for all the likes and subscribes that we've had recently. And please feel free to hit us up with one. We always appreciate the support. This video is going to give you just a few basics of how to get started in creating atmospheres for genres like sci-fi and horror. I kind of wish that somebody had pointed this out to me earlier on and how simple it is to really get into kind of experimenting and sound crafting. With Logic Pro X comes a modeling synthesizer called Sculpture. What I like about it is that yes, the interface looks a bit complicated. You have a lot of different knobs and a lot of different parameters you can sit and tweak with. But what it also allows for you to do, instead of having a vast knowledge of every single individual function behind what all this does, it gives you what is called the material pad. And it basically acts as an XY control pad that lets you kind of transition through different parameters and it kind of all just seamlessly molds together. I really enjoy it. So what I will do is I'm going to record a track. I'm just going to record a few seconds of putting a few keys down. But then what I'm going to go into is showing you the value of touch automation and why that is so important in using Sculpture to create these kind of customized and weird, unpredictable sounds. Is that with touch automation, it will keep track of all the random tweaks that you make to it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and put a track down and do a bit of experimenting. Okay, that already sounds pretty cool and ominous by itself. Let's add a little bit of kind of crafty, random kind of playing with it and just watch how this does. I'm going to grab the ball inside of the material pad and let it play back. Touch automation basically acts as kind of like a recorder for your tweaking, for all of the little parameter shifts that you make. It will track all of those so that when you go to play it back, it repeats the way that you did it before. So let me put that in action and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so now when you go to play that back, you'll see the ball moves on its own. And it has it all graphed out here, tracking the movement. It's a very handy sound design tool if you want to kind of craft something completely abstract and unidentifiable, especially if you're doing, like I said, the sci-fi and horror genres. This kind of thing is very beneficial for those types of genres. So what I'll do is just kind of skip through. I'll mute this previous track. I'll go through some of these other presets to just show you how that can sound on a few different presets. Now, Sculpture is based off of one string sound. It has one basic signal, but it's the way that it manipulates that sound that changes it so vastly. This preset is called Flange Voices, and these are all just inside their pads section, but I find that they're the quickest to get down to creating those atmospheres that really kind of stand out. By themselves, they're pretty cool, but you add some of this tweaking with things, and you can do it your own way, and you'll come up with all kinds of crazy new sounds. So I'll go ahead and play some Flange Voices and move around the material pad. Let's transpose that down a couple octaves. Pretty cool. Let's go to slow warm swell, see how we go on that. Let's go over to Noisy Plug, and this is obviously something you could do on your own, but the main point is I want to illustrate how easy it is to be able to get into a lot of randomized kind of pads with this. Let's turn that down because that's loud as hell. Okay, so we have an initial pulse and then it just kind of tails off. So let's see if we can do like a kind of a bang sound like you hear out of a gun. There you go. There's a laser. Cool. Cosmonaut space capsule. Now, you can use any of these functions and do touch automation, and it will track that. So, main point is that if you are looking to create some new atmospheric pads and you want to get into something that's very abstract, something that is a little bit ominous sounding but very alien, Sculpture is a fantastic built-in synthesizer that comes with Logic that makes it very easy for you to just jump in and go. I'm a big believer in the touch automation feature because I simply can't just imagine all the different possibilities of how these sounds will blend together if I do the alchemy of mixing them in random ways. But what touch automation does is it just tracks at least where those crazy unpredictable sounds came from, that I can keep them if I like the way that it sounded. And then of course, if I want to make sure it stays and I don't end up redoing it over, switch it back to read and it'll stay there. So, hope you enjoyed this basic tutorial on an easy way to just get started in creating atmospheric pads. Sculpture, I'm a big fan of it. Don't be intimidated by this interface. There's a lot going on here, but once you know some of the basic science of synthesizers, a lot more of it makes sense. But if you don't, it doesn't matter because you can still go through and hold down a few keys, lay down a track, and then come back through and use that material pad, which you'll create crazy sounds you really didn't set out to create. It'll just kind of happen into them, and that's what I love so much about it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Nick Borrego. Please feel free to give us a like, a comment, or a subscribe. Thank you for all your support at Converge Audio. Hope you have a good one. I will catch you guys later.